What's going on? Peace to the family out there. You're now tuned in to G Consciousness Live. Let's make sure we got this test sound going. I got this new headset, so I want to make sure it's good. Let's see what's happening out there. Let's see. Can we get some? I got this test sound going. I got this new headset, so I want to make sure it's good. Let's see what's happening out there. Let's see. All right, cool. Cool. So my headset seems to be playing good. Got that together. Let's see. Let's check it one more time. Hold on. All right, cool. All right. Can y'all hear me clearly? I see I got one viewer. Can you hear me clearly? Mic check. Mic check. Go over here real quick. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. What it do? I sound choppy. All right. I sound real choppy. All right, hold on. Let me get it together. Hold on real quick. Let's see. Cool. So my headset seems to be playing good. Got that together. Let's see. Let's check it. All right. Let's see. Mic check. Mic check. Still seem like it's choppy a little bit. One time. Hold on. All right, cool. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Still seem like it's choppy a little bit. I'm clear, y'all. One time. Hold on. All right, cool. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Still seem like it's. All right, cool. Peace and grace. What's going on? What's going on to the brothers out there? Mr. Sun J03, what's up, Issa? Peace and grace. What's going on, Clinton? What's going on, man? Y'all know what it is. Cool, man. I got this new headset, so if y'all can, man, make sure y'all share this on y'all page. We just doing a little something. It's 9:36. It's early. I've been up since 6 something. Listening to G Man a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Early this morning, getting it in. And then basically sitting here waiting for a load, you know what I'm saying? In here like Schwimware, definitely, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, so are you preaching the gospel? Preaching the gospel, I mean, it's clear, man, that's the best way to empower the people, man. It's no other way, man. Like, you can say we've been doing this for thousands of years, or we've been doing this for hundreds of years, and I mean, you either gonna do the word or you not, man, because it was the very gospel that even empowered the people in the first place. When they heard the gospel, for us, going through times of tribulation, especially when we look at, in the past when followers of Christ first started following Christ and they was being persecuted. You know what I'm saying? Because what they was believing in was against the religion of the states, and they continue to follow Christ and to teach the gospel and to spread good tidings unto the people in the times of chaos, times of famine, being beat. Paul gives us clear examples of his life story. We get clear examples of Israel, when they interacted with those that were around them, the nations that were around them, whether if it was politically, you know what I'm saying, or economically. These people, you know, they have a history. So we look at their history and we can actually learn from those things and move around today in a way to where it's wisdom, you know, and learn from those things. What's up, Tony Tebb? What's going on? Peace with you, brother. So the main thing is this is that you know, we cannot afford to be talking about what everybody else is talking about because they've been talking about it for thousands of years. Matter of fact, when we actually look into the when we look at the antediluvian period, we can kind of see that they've been talking about stuff for years. You know, 1600 years, you would have thought they would have got it together then, but they didn't, and it led to the flood. Then after the flood, we see, you know, what took place after the flood. Man fell again. We're dealing with the post antediluvian flood period. After the flood, we see that they fell during that time. You know, they established a new world government, built, you know, they had a government system. Josephus even speak about the government system, so it seems that they fell politically just as well and religiously. And only thing there was to gain that time was doing economically, because you had Nimrod, which was a mighty hunter, and he was fortifying cities and hunting and showing people how to hunt, and he became a hero unto them. So this is why he was lifted up as this political person, because he knew how to get that bread. So, you know, you can't empower the people with the cares of the world. That's just not enough. It's not enough. Like the cares of the world can actually harden people's heart and turn them away from the very gospel that you claim to be preaching or teaching, if you even let it come out your mouth. Because some of these brothers, man, they got Christian all in their name, their titles, but they not really letting the gospel come out their mouth at all, which is crazy, because you can't say that you're a follower of Christ, but you're not following Christ. That doesn't make any sense. So you can begin to look at some of these brothers' pages and get the idea of what they're posting, and if they're really posting things about the cares of the world, you know, which we do care. Let's not say that we don't care, but we know how to deal with it. We know how to confront it, and we confront it the same way that Christ has taught us to confront it. Because if you confront it your way, I mean, and you feel that this is the way that you empower people your way, I mean, you're doing something that is the wisdom of the world. It's not really the wisdom of Christ. So, you know, they look at us and they say, well, Christians, we're soft, or we this and that. No, we're not soft. We just know that we got a history of people relying on their own strength, of great empires, Egypt being one of them. You know what I'm saying? Relying on their own strength to try to save themselves, rather relying on the Creator himself by the word of his son. So, I mean, we could kind of get the idea that, you know, trying to do the same thing that's already been done, right? Or the works of the flesh, it's not going to get you anywhere. If you could have been did it, you would have been did it, but you can't do it because you can't muster it up. And in other words, it's going to take you culture, every other nation, every empire. They always said it took them something divine to conquer this nation or to conquer different nations. That's what people don't understand. This is spiritual alchemy that's going on. This spiritual warfare. You thinking you're warring in the flesh, and you're really warring against people that are dealing with demonic forces, entities, and spirits. So what people try to do is they try to say, well, man, there ain't no ghosts or there ain't no spirits and this and that. And man, they only do that is because they being tricked. And also when they do that, they cause people to be defeated, and they want people to act out in the flesh. That's the whole ordeal there is to act out in the flesh, knowing that you can't overcome in the flesh, because the spirit is clear. I mean, the scriptures is clear. It says that it's not by your might nor by your strength, but by the Spirit, thus said the Lord. In other words, it's nothing that you can do but sit down in divine to give you the power to even go and see what needs to be done and have the power to do it. In other words, he gives you the power to demonstrate it, you know, but if you're relying on your own strength or the strength of the horse, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You need a divine intervention. And so a lot of people, they don't understand that. So, you know, they become they become this person to where they say they're moved by the cares of the world. And so they try to empower people by you know, natural means, you know. I mean, that's just foolishness. I mean, that's not going to get you out of your situation. So that leads us to believe that you're just not trusting nothing that the Lord is saying. You're just playing Christianity now. You might as well just take the Christianity or Christian off of your name and just go full-fledged with it, because you're not talking about anything else anyways. You're not talking about Christ. Most of your posters concerning, you know, concerning fleshly things or the cares of the world and what's going on, and causing the people to be steered away. You're giving people basically a false hope. You're making people some. See, there's conversations. There's conversations that I can't even talk to my children about. Certain conversations I can't even talk to my wife about, because I know that she's not ready for that. So, you know, when you're out there and you're conversating with certain people, and are you putting this stuff up on your Facebook? Are you doing all of this crazy stuff on your Google Plus, your YouTube? There are certain things that certain people is not even ready for, because they can't handle the situation like you will handle it. So sometimes it's just best to just keep your mouth closed and talk to people that you know that can handle that situation properly in the manner that the biblical text tells us to handle the situation. And so what happens is you open up your mouth, then you go and you say, well, this is what's going on and this and that. And so that person may not respond like you may respond, because they may not be spiritually inclined, you know, like you may be. And it starts a whole mess. And you say, well, I should never told this person that. Well, you knew they wasn't ready for that. You knew they wasn't ready for it. And some people, they know that certain people not ready for certain type of things, but their job is to escalate a event and use people as pawns and push them across the board. And some people become a ticking time bomb, because what they do is they get some information. You got to look at it. These people, you know, some people have never experienced or been in some certain things in their life, and never experienced the importance of even being in a group or even being popular or important. So when they do get the opportunity, they're a ticking time bomb. I mean, they're ticking time bomb. I'm sorry. And so that's what we see this going on out here. People are more so trying to get a name and fame than really deal with the truth of the matter. So what they'll do is they'll seek out an occasion on how to get their foot in the door, and basically cause strife in the door. Cause strife just to get into the door, which is foolishness. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch these people. So we're going to deal with a couple of texts here, because like I said, we don't talk about it, we be about it. You know, I'm not saying that we're perfect, because we this is a battle every day. We strive for perfection. We strive to be perfection. We strive to be more like Christ. And so every day we're putting down things of the flesh, and we have to be careful, because we can get attached to the very cares of the world to cause us to be in a position where we're thrown off. So you got to be careful, because there's a lot of things that's in this world that you can look at that can cause you to be thrown off real bad. Yeah, ain't that the truth, brother? I see. I think it's Eshay, E-T. Yeah. So let me make sure I share this. Is my sound putting out clear, y'all? Cool. Yeah. So the thing is, this is it's really not about. It's not about when you okay. We gonna deal with something today. We gonna look at the parable of the sower, the parable of the sower, because I think that's important because you know we live our life. You know, we know that the seed is planted, is sowed, and we have to make sure, you know, you know, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I think that every day, you know, we walk and we live our life, and we don't really take time to really guard the things that's in our heart and what's going on in this world, because the world can cause you to be a callous person. It can cause your heart to be so callous and so stony, and that's easy to be done. You know, especially if you're indulging in it, if you're just every day just taking the world and just taking the world and the social system and what it has to offer, and you just not guarding yourself. You're not guarding it. You're not guarding your spirit, man. And at the same time, you're not filling yourself up at all. Ishay, I got you. Ishay, I got you, brother. Appreciate that. You're not guarding yourself. Peace, word of God. Guarding yourself at all. You just taking in everything that the world has to offer, and we know what the world gives, what it has to offer. We did that. You know, when we talked about that on Shield Squad Radio last Monday, we talked about that. By the way, Shield Squad Radio will be coming on tonight. If y'all can't, please tune in on Blog Talk Radio. So we will be coming on tonight. We will have Sister Cherry, Sister Raquel, talking about some things tonight. So y'all might want to tune in tonight. So, you know, the world, you know, the thing that it does offer is not good for the spirit man at all. You know, the wisdom of this world is foolishness unto God. See, this is why we shouldn't be looking to apply the wisdom of the world to empower people. You know, whether if it's people that's in your neighborhood, is urban or whatever the case may be. But, you know, you got to, the best way to empower people in general is by following what Christ did, because that was the real empowerment right there. So, and what the apostles did and what people did that was moved. We got examples of people that was moved all throughout the Bible, you know, and then also people in this world that we have, you know, in the very present time, past time, we got people that you know, they knew how to strengthen people, motivate people to apply what the very scriptures is talking about, you know. And hold on for a minute, what does this say? Okay, which one? Hold on, you guys. What's today's day? Oh, I got a few more days anyway, so it don't matter. So today is the 28th. Okay, cool. So, you know, we definitely got to know how to apply the word, because really it's all a test, you guys. This is all a test, and how you respond in that test is going to show what you're made of. Whether your works is wood, stubble, or hay, or whether you're this precious metal and you're going through this fire, you're being refined, and it's going to show you what you're made of, and you're going to come out on the other side looking beautiful. And so a lot of people, you know, their response to certain situations just as worldly as ever, super worldly. That's why you never really hear the gospel coming out their mouth. You never really see it on their pages. You're always seeing something that's going on in the world on their pages. Um, it should be no reason why you're not basically dealing with this word, man. It shouldn't be no reason why you're not empowering people with the very words of Christ to enrich your soul, to cause you to be reconciled with God, so you can get instructions from God on how to move about in the very material world. And historically, when you even look at historically, you know, Israel established their whole government unto the Father. They may then follow the instructions, but if they would have followed the instructions, they would have been above all people, because of God, who is the creator, who was instructing them, was guiding them. So, I mean, that's clear, man. If you allow God to be your guiding source, if we allow him to be our guiding source, we wouldn't even run into a lot of things. We wouldn't even run into a lot of things that we're going through in life if we allow him to be the guiding source. So we have opposition. What is the opposition? The opposition are humans that seek to oppress and cause people to be depressed, stressed. And so we got to learn how to counter that opposition. And one of the ways to counter that opposition is the tools that we've been given on how we should divine unto the Father and apply the word, man, and apply the word and ask God, hey, I need your strength. I need the power to even be able to empower. Because my strength is all, man, it's everything. Every time I do something in my own strength, it never comes out how it's supposed to be. It never does. I just want to see clearly one person that has done something in their own strength and it came out to how it's supposed to be. That goes for the empires, because I'm pretty sure they did a lot of things within their own strength, but they failed. And so they may have lasted a long time and did it, but for so long, but eventually, you know, you gonna fall because you're consistently doing it in your own strength, and eventually your strength is going to be used up. You're gonna be overpowered by something that can overpower you. But when you relying on God's strength, there's nothing that can get the best of you. And if it get the best of you, that's something that God has allowed to happen, so it can refine you, and it can mold and shape you and bring you through and work something in you and work something out of you. That's basically what's happening. Because if a person can get to you, then trust and believe God allowed them to get to you. That's what we need to understand. So in these last days, one thing we're going to realize is that we're going to have false prophets. We're going to have people seeking to save their own lives, because nation will rise up against nation. Ethnos will rise up against ethnos. Ethnicities will rise up against ethnicities, race against race, etc., etc. You know, we know that's going to happen. Rumors of wars. False prophets should rise up. There was false prophets that rose up in the time of Israel during the southern and the northern kingdom, mainly the southern kingdom, where we see that there were prophets that rose up and told Israel that they would get the victory over Nebuchadnezzar, and God had not said so. And God, because they believed they lied, God allowed them lied unto. In other words, if you're going to believe a lie and not believe the truth, hey, look, I'm going to allow you to be deceived. I'm going to allow you to be up under a strong delusion. And that's what God did. And it says God sent them sent a lying spirit to them among them. When God see that you could consistently wants to believe in a lie, and you don't want to believe in the truth, and the truth is right there, God would allow a spirit to be sent unto you, he will allow it to happen. A lying spirit. Because you don't want to believe the truth. There's a lot of liars that's out here that's going around lying. And they really making you believe that they're for the people, but they're not for the people, because they're teaching the very same tactics that carnal people are teaching. And they go by the name of, they walk by the name of Christ, so to speak. They'll be walking with Christ as a banner. But that's just not the truth. They'll be thinking that they're doing God's service. What they're doing God's service. They're not doing them any service. They're harming the people. They are false leaders. They are false leaders. They're more so concerned about basically about and just on the notion of just even just, and you can kind of tell these people are just straight square up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these guys, they really ain't really been out here like that. Because if you really been out here, then you'll know to stop calling everybody your people. People need to really stop doing that. I mean, it's gonna get so worse out here. You're gonna be even afraid to even stand close to your brother, your blood brother, your brother who came out the same womb, or your sister, or your mother, or your father, because it's scary out here. Because everybody is seeking to save their own lives. So today is 2017. Why are people still going around thinking just because somebody is your color, they're your brother? Those people who are teaching that, they are fools. They make me think, have they ever really experienced life or went through life? Because when you experience life and you've been out here on these streets, you should have enough common sense to know that calling everybody your brother just because they're your color is just plain retarded. It's just plain stupid. I've been on these streets. I've been homeless before. I've been from place to place. And I got enough sense to know that I've been selling drugs from state to state. I've done all of that. And people can attest to that. But I got enough sense to know that at the end of the day, just because me and you are the same color does not make you my brother. Whether you white, black, or whatever. On an international scale, we got people the same color that are Caucasians, and look how they war against each other on the international scale. They shooting for the mastery over each other. Why? Because these people got enough sense to say in their mind, like, listen, well, I wouldn't say they got enough sense. I would say they know already on resources. So I got to feed my family, and that's what they're saying. They got to live by bread alone. So in these last days, everybody is trying to get the mastery over each other, because you're limited on resources. Matter of fact, when you start dealing with Revelation 6, you can kind of see that. When you start seeing that in the last days, you start seeing the things dealing with the horses concerned with war and famine. You know, there's all types of stuff. We trying to save the world, but at the same time, we killing the world. So if we see that we're killing the world and nothing we're doing is working, eventually people gonna start trying to kill each other. That's why we start talking about you know, I always talk about population reduction, because the global elite got enough sense to know that, hey, look, people are being brought into the world faster than they leaving out the world. So there has to be something created. We have to talk about social science. And so this is not just something that's new to the Caucasians. They've been doing this since antiquities. Why do black folks always try to act like this supremacy start when white people come into existence, or when they come into existence in the black communities, or the black lands? It's been taking place. It's always been taking place. You got supremacy among black people. You got supremacies among the first pre-dynasty Kemet. These people were supreme in their thought. That's why they went into people's lands and did what they did, and then tried to shoot all the way up north into the Levant. These were not all the same people. These were different cultures of people that had a mutual aspect of something that they felt that was, something that was common unto them. And they civilized together and unified together to go and accomplish a goal, whether if it was going into somebody's land, setting up boundaries and borders to cut people off, and so they can control the economics or the resources of those places. Those are the things that people do. So should we get caught up in stuff like that? No, we shouldn't. We got to learn how to do things a different way from how the world is doing it. I don't think people is really taking that into account. We had a brother on here the other day. The brother name was Nasi Mitzvah, and I want y'all to go back and listen to that last class, and I'm gonna do a recap on that, because there was a lot of errors that was made, and you know, it's peace with the brother, but at the same time, you know, you can kind of see that he's been affected by the beast system. He's doing the very things, are giving a response, just how, you know, they want him to respond. I'm sorry, how they want him to respond. So I mean, stuff like that is clear, man. So let me check my chat room, because I'm just really going to talk. What's going on? Shout out to Global Media. What's going on, Natty Star? Word of God. See you in there. Yeah, so and that's the whole thing. We have to be careful, because at the end of the day, you have to know how you should respond when it comes to certain tactics that's being put on you. Because see, that you got to understand the method of operation of Satan or the adversary, right? Whether if it's the definite article or whether if it's just, you know, adversaries in general. You got to know the method of operation. So when that operation or that method come by, you know what tactic to use, how to counter that. You know, you know, but before you do that, you need to understand spiritually what's going on. When something is going on in your life, right, and you see it going on in your life, you're like, man, this is I don't know what's going on, but my circumstances have changed. It could be your wife tripping, it can be your kids doing stuff that, you know, your family, or either yourself, to where you just going through this change. You better get on your knees and see what's really going on in the spiritual realm, and see what really what it is. You better see, because if something is going on, is being manifested in the physical realm, trust and believe it didn't get past the spiritual realm. So you got to understand and say, well, hold on, God. You know, I'm facing this situation in this natural world and this material flesh. I need to know spiritually what's going on. I need to know spiritually what's going on, because listen, if a war has been won in the spiritual realm, in the physical realm, trust me, it was already in the spiritual realm before it was manifested in the physical realm. Because it's not getting past that level, to that level. Because you got to understand, even when you're sitting back at your desk, right, and you're thinking, you're spiritual inclined right then and there. So so right then and there, whatever you're thinking, you know, that thought process, that's spiritual. Whether if it's a spiritual, you're thinking about spiritual foolishness, or whatever the case, or things that are good in the spirit, this lined up with the spirit of God, or whether you just thinking about spiritual wickedness. At that moment, you have the power at that moment to manifest that into the physical realm. Why do I say that? Because sometimes when you try to think of some foolish stuff, God, hey, look, he gonna put that, he gonna be like that ass, that donkey, where he catch you with that sword, right? Everywhere you turn, you gonna learn. He gonna use that ass on that donkey. So when you do what you do, every direction you try to turn, hey, you better you're gonna be held accountable for your actions. And sometimes I'm not even gonna let you get to acting. That's how he is. You're not even finna get to acting, because what you finna do can cause people to be not blessed. And you're not finna bless what I have blessed. I mean, you're not finna curse what I have blessed. I'm sorry. So you got to understand that it's vice versa. You know, we see things as being manifested in the spiritual realm all day. I mean, the physical realm all day long. Spiritual realm first. So everything is a mindset before it comes into the spiritual realm. I mean, before it comes into the physical realm. So we need to understand. We need to be, you know, looking at that. Let's look at that 2 Corinthians 10 and 15. Sister posted it up there. Let me grab that real quick. Second Corinthians 10 and 5. I'm sorry. It says up to 4. That's what it says in verse 3. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." Man, if you war after the flesh, right? If you war after the flesh, you're not gonna be successful, man, in this walk, man. Like I stated before, you can't be saying that you're a Christian and you don't even know what Christian means. Christian is to be Christ-like, to be anointed. So you got to be, the real empowerment is being anointed. I mean, do people understand that? That's common sense. I mean, I don't understand why people try to really come up against what the word is saying. I'm not telling you nothing that you ain't heard. I'm just telling you the word. I'm not telling you nothing that's of my words. This is what the word says. This is clear what the word say. And I'm pretty sure that true believers is not going to go for the cares of the world and what's going on in the world. And what people might say, well, this is right or this is wrong. No, true believers is going to look at it. What does the word say? So if there is somebody that is enticing you to fall away from Christ and causing division, right, and not trying to baptize people in the body of Christ with the Spirit of God by preaching the word unto them, to cause them to live, because the word is the door. That's the only way you can see the face of God, by the word of God, which expresses the image of God. And God was in the flesh, was manifested in the flesh, showing you the way back unto the Father. So watch what this says. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds." You can't pull down a stronghold by trying to look at the cares of the world. That's not going to help you. By trying to do something yourself within your own power. If you could pull down that stronghold, right, you would have been did it. Because what you got to understand is this thing is a mind thing. This thing is a spiritual thing. And the mind is spirit. The mind is not flesh. The brain is flesh, but the mind is something different, because the mind is what causes the brain to even respond in the actual material body. So if you got stinking thinking, then it's going to be manifested in the material world. What you got to understand, as I stated before, you're warned against people that are spiritually inclined to fallen deities. So if you're trying to get the victory, you got to know how to war better than them with who you're dividing to, which is the Father. If you're not getting application, if you're not getting instructions and application on how to apply, how to apply the word of God in your life, that deity that's giving them divine revelation, this a fallen deity that's been here before you, that knows about the spiritual realm and that see better than you see, because you ain't seeing in the spiritual realm. You need God to see for you. He has to be the one to see for you. So if you're not seeing properly, and then you trying to war against these guys got the upper hand on you, because they fallen deities is giving them instructions and empowering them. So the only way for you to be empowered is by the Spirit of God. That's the real dunamis power. I mean, that's clear. I don't understand why people can't understand it. That's basic what I'm telling you. These people are divining to doctrines of devils. But I mean, they're divining to demonic forces, and just giving them doctrines of devils. So they're getting instructions, they're getting information. So the only way for you to be in power, and they're using those very instructions to evolve in their weaponry to conquer over each other. So the devil is causing the humans to destroy themselves, these demonic forces. And he's using other humans to destroy other humans. So if you're teaching people carnal ways on how to respond to spiritual warfare, you have lost your mind. You all out of pocket. I don't care what you see in the world. You better react how the Bible tells you to react, because it's giving you the proper instructions. The Bible is clear. He that tries to save his life shall lose his life. If you're trying to save your life with your own strength, overpowered. Because it's clear Israel could have mustered up a lot of people to go to war in the Old Testament. But for some reason, every time they tried it in their own strength, they couldn't even overcome and drive out anything. So the reason why God couldn't drive those people out is because of Israel. Because it was Israel. God could have drove them out in the sense if Israel would have hearkened unto them. But Israel, they wanted to keep, they went among those people and liked certain things. They liked it. They had some of those old ways of Egypt. It seemed like they was up in Canaan, and they liked it, so they kept those people among them. So God did not drive them out because of Israel. Now, if Israel sought to do the instructions of God, then God would have drove them wholly out and given them the very power to do so, as He did with other nations. So it's clear. You can sit up there and talk about it, right? But is what you're talking about actually empowering the people, or is it the gospel? I mean, just start looking at some of these people's shows. You know, just start looking at some of their shows or just listening to them. You'll see that they're adopting worldly traditions from the cares of the world to actually use those very things empower the people, so to speak, when in reality it's not. It's causing destruction in the neighborhoods. It's causing destruction on an international scale. So you have to be wiser than serpents, or wiser than a serpent, or be, when it says wise like a serpent, you have to be in a sense where you know the method and operation, or the tactics of these demonic demons. So it says, casting down imaginations, pulling down strongholds, every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. See, notice it keeps saying the knowledge of God, because you need the knowledge of God to operate in this world. Even Solomon had enough sense to say, Lord, I need some wisdom to rule. I mean, to govern these people. I need some wisdom to govern these people. Are you trying to govern the people with your own wisdom? You foolish to be doing that. And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. I mean, that's clear, man. And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedient when your obedience is fulfilled. See? Then you can revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. You ain't even fulfilled in obedience. You ain't doing nothing that Christ told you to do. Notice that when Christ come back, right, and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, people not indulging in the flesh and looking at the world and growing cold, but we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. When Christ come back, right, that's when you're going to see the obedience is fulfilled and stuff being revenged. You know what I'm saying? Watch what it says. Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? You got to be looking on things on the outward appearance. That's why you're doing the things that you're doing. You got to be, because when you start looking at everything around you, how it's happening, you look at the wars, you look at the race crimes, you look at police brutality, you look at black on black crime, white on white crime. All of this stuff will drive you madness. It drive you crazy. How you looking at it will cause you to feel a certain type of way or respond a certain type of way. So do you look on things after the outward appearance? You got to be doing it. Watch what it says. If any man trusts to himself that he is Christ, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Christ, even so are we Christ, right? So he basically said, if any man trusts to himself that he is Christ, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Christ, even so we is Christ. So, I mean, you know, if you say, Paul basically said, if you saying that, hey, look, you by the very deeds that you doing that you with Christ, right? You might need to examine yourself, because you know that we definitely with Christ. He said, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Christ, even so are we with Christ, right? So you know, if you say that you with Christ and you with him, hey, look, even so, or surely more, that you know that, you know, we've been in this thing, we've been doing this thing. It says, for though I should boast somewhat more of our authority, which the Lord hath given us for edification, and not for your destruction, I should not be ashamed. So these people, they know, they may got some revelation or this and that or whatever, but hey, look, you of a surety, we in this thing. We could tell you. We got people that can bear witness. The apostles could bear witness of what Paul is talking about. It says, that I may not seem as if I would terrify you by letters. For his letters say they are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak and his speech contemptible. Let such an one think this, that such as we are in word by letters, we are such we will be also indeed when we are present. So he said, let such an one think this, that such as we are in word by letters, when we are absent, such will we be also indeed when we are present. In other words, if I'm speaking this to you by letters, don't think that I'm soft because I'm saying this by letters. If I was present bodily, hey, look, the same thing is. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be even more what you call, even more powerful indeed. For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, right? But they measure themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. It shouldn't be a comparison there. You know, black or white, you know, It's in that we all are in the body of Christ, and we say that we are Christ. Why are we comparing ourselves? Why are we using these derogative terms? And doing these a lot of this foolish stuff. So we have to be careful of that. You got to be careful of somebody just comparing themselves among themselves, because when they doing stuff like that, it's really causing the division that's there. So that has to be looked at, and make sure we're not doing that. Let's look at something real quick. Let's look at something real quick. Let's look at Matthew 13, what it says. All right, so hold on, you guys, real quick. Hold on. All right, so cool, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I was talking to my dispatcher and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I'm stuck here in Idaho till tomorrow. Yeah, I got to take a 34-hour reset. So I'm stuck. I'm in this county. It's way. I'm on the borderline of Utah and also in Idaho. Um, I'm in this county. It's called Preston. Preston. It's called Preston. That's what it's called. Yeah, Preston. I'm in Idaho out here, man. Just looking at these hills to the east of me. I don't know. Yeah, I might be trying to make it to a truck stop, but I don't want to reset my hours because it seems like I don't have the hours, whatever. But I delivered this morning, and I want to get to the truck stop. At least try to get at the truck stop every night. I don't like sleeping where I can't get to the truck stop. So figure something out. But I got all day to do this. So I will be doing a show tonight. Um, just as well as y'all tune in also to that Shield Squad Radio. Make sure y'all tune in. And I got great reception right now, so I'm good. I'm gonna sit back and watch a couple of movies today, and do that. I don't know. I might try to see if there's any calls around here. Any hotels around here. Get a room or something like that. I'm not sleeping. I'm not like sleeping in a truck. Towns that I do not know about. You got people that still with the stuff, y'all. And so you got to be careful. You got then when you got people that want to rob, steal. But I ain't got no freight anyways. But just people, try to rob and steal all the time. Somebody went in my trailer. Went in my trailer 3 days ago. They went in my trailer 3 days ago. I was in a town, like a little town like this, matter of fact, and you would think that people would be doing stuff like that at a brand new truck stop because the truck stop was brand new and it was nice. But man, it happened. Somebody tried to go on my trailer. They broke my seal or whatever. When I hit the shower, I came back out the shower because each time I take a little minute because I'm gonna shave my face or whatever the case may be, or I just take a little minute or whatever in the shower. So get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So you listen to your music, you relax a little. You got 30 minutes, and these clowns, they sitting up there watching you when you leave your truck, and they go in your truck and try to go in your trailer. So I just so happened to think that, hey, look, I ain't got nothing back there but some filters, and these are big boxes. You can't move these boxes, but some way you got these guys that got these trucks, pickup trucks, and they trying to get high, so they gotta do it some way, whether it's a meth lab or whatever. So the area you can kind of see that is people that really deal with probably like meth or crack or something like that. But it's a little small little town or whatever, and they be stealing a lot. And so when I talked to my friend, he was like, "Man, heads over there," and I was like, "For real?" Like, it looks real nice over here. The brand new truck stop and everything. Truck stop beautiful. But people, they know the truck drivers come in and they get in showers and trying to relax, and because most of the time that's what you're going to have. People come in there and get a shower, relax, and get them something to eat because that's what you're going to do. You go in the truck stop, you eat, and then you hit the shower up. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be about probably 30 to 45 minutes just in the truck stop. So then when you come out, they figure in their mind like this dude, he didn't lock his trailer up, so they checking. And that's sad people do that, but sometimes some people will take your whole truck out there. That's what's crazy. They'll take the whole truck. Usually time truck drivers, we don't like sleeping in our trucks. You know, I don't. You know, I'm used to getting home every day, or I'm at a truck stop every day. Like this situation right now, I'm just so happen to where I can't move because I'm on my 34. Well, I really was on my 10, but you know what I'm saying, 10-hour break. But what happened with that was I ended up talking to my dispatcher, and the way he talking, he was like, well, you can either go to Washington State, or you can, because I'm like about 11 hours away from Washington State, or you can go to California. And, you know, I'm like, I don't mind going there, but I ain't going to make it there because I'm going to have to stop in the mountains somewhere because I got 9 hours and 45 minutes to drive on my 70. And so I was like, I need to take a 34-hour recess so I can get all my hours back because 9 hours and 45 minutes to drive. And, you know, if I would have had all my hours, I would have went to California. I would have went to Washington State too, though, just to go up there because you go through the mountains and stuff, it'd be real nice. Plus, usually time I'm going up there, I'll be like 6,000 pounds or something like that. So I don't really burn no gas. My truck don't burn gas like that, so I save a lot. But, you know, it's real nice just to go through and just to see the site and stuff like that. Then he tried to send me into Reno. Reno, man, you go in that mountain. Them mountains is beautiful, but at the same time, man, you go up that mountain, you go through that mountain, and you heavy. And that stuff throw you down them hills. I mean, that weight throw you down them hills, and you be going so fast, your brakes, you got to put them Jake brakes on, and it's throwing you, man. It's throwing you down the hill. So, man, and you got to be careful because you got silly people that's in front of you, so you got to drop it all the way down. You got to get in your lowest gear and just coast down. Just coast all the way down. And even with that, when you're real heavy, it's still throwing you down the hill. So you got to be real careful. That's why when they try to give me a heavy load, I'll be like, nah, ain't nothing popping. But I kind of knew they wasn't going to be able to find me nothing up out of Idaho because don't get too much freight coming up out of here. Potato season or something. Get some Idaho potatoes and take them somewhere. But the money was pretty good coming up here. But yeah, so, you know, getting back to this, the text, you know what I'm saying? Let me check my chat room because I ain't been looking. Leader for Christ, what's going on? Brian, what up? EL2K, what's up? You want me to give you a link, brother? EL? Yeah, that's my cousin right there, L2. Israel Doctrine in the building. Israel Doctrine in the building. What's happening? Israel Doctrine up early this morning. You wasn't up earlier than me, though, brother. J-Man, what's good? Mac Thomas, what's going on, brother? Mariah G, what's happening? Thanks for the prayers, y'all. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to tell y'all yesterday, right? I'm going to tell y'all exactly what happened. Now, I'm 40,000 pounds, right? So my GPS is going to tell me where to go through. I'm 41,000 to be exact. So, I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, I don't want to go through this. It's like, it's like this. These mountains, like these ain't the biggest mountains, but they have like they minimum. They, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna deal with a lot of ash up here. A lot of mostly a lot of ash because you dealing with, you got Yellowstone, so you probably had eruption back then, and you see a lot of ash that you see. You know what I'm saying? It looked like mountain ranges, but it's actually just ash. The formation of it comes from Yellowstone. So, yeah, I know I studied geography a little bit and also geology. when you look at when you roll it, it's not too much big mountains, but it's still hills, and so the turns are just like real tight. So let's say for instance you go down. I went down a 6% to 7% steep grade yesterday, and here's the crazy thing about it, because the turns was almost like just dead stop and then turn. You got to take the turn at like 20 miles per hour, but it's like the turn is so sharp. Anything other than that 20 miles per hour is over. So I'm gonna tell you how, like sometimes when you out here you driving, and mind you, it was getting close to nighttime too. So man, I just thank God, man, that I just be taking my time, man. I don't care if people rushing or whatever. But I rode the turn. I mean, I was rolling through, and I seen this truck. I said he kept straight for a reason. I said I should turn back around and keep straight with him, because I can take that route too. And it seems to me that the route that I'm on now is perfectly fine. But my GPS is taking me this way, but it's a Rand McNally, it's a trucker GPS, and so maybe it's taking me this way because this is the best way I need to go. But I'm starting to find out with this trucker's GPS. Now the trucker's GPS I got is new, it's fairly new to me. So anyways, I took it, I hit it, right? And so I'm like, man, I should have went where that truck was, because this open road plus this can take me that way, and I'm pretty sure that he's going that way for a reason, because this I see two trucks that's continuing that way. Nobody took the way I took. So I'm like, man, I done took this way. Sure enough, when I took it, I said, I see why they kept straight, because of this right here, this steep grade right here with these turns. And I'm telling you, they have a runaway ramp that goes up a mountain. Like when you hit the runaway ramp, it goes straight up, like almost like a 70, I'm gonna say 60 degree, just straight up. So you it's crazy how it does. And so when I seen that, I was like, so I was like, man, I can't keep going this way. So I detoured, and when I detoured, I went about an hour out, but at the same time I couldn't do it. It was nighttime. I said I can't keep going this way, because I'm looking in this windy part right here. It could be steep grade too, just as well. But at the same time, it's so windy to where it's going everywhere. It's going everywhere to where I'm like, man, I'm not gonna take this one. So I went on and I went up right beside this lake. I forgot what lake it was, but the lake was huge. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what lake it was. It was huge, and it was beautiful too. And I shot and I went that way, and it was all types of resorts. It's called Pyramid Lake. That's what it's called. Hold on, no, I'm sorry, that's not it. Hold on, I'm tripping. That's not it. Hold on. I was in the wrong spot. Let me see, is this it right here? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna find it right now. There it is right here. This lake was huge. It's called Bear Lake. That's what it's called. When you look at it, it's Bear Lake. So what I crept up 30. I crept all beside Bear Lake, and I wish it was daytime, because when I came through, it was light out, but it was beautiful though. It was all resorts. It was just lined up on the it's called Bear Lake State Park. And so I went all the way up, and I took that 89, and I was gonna take 36, but 36 is truck restricted. And I'm glad I didn't take that, because that goes straight through the mountains. And the way that looked, and these ain't big mountains, these are just like little hilly, you know what I'm saying? They ain't big mountains at all, but you still got to climb and go down. But the way that looked, that's even more crazy. So I just went 30 all the way up, and then took 34 all the way down. And then once I took 34 all the way down, I bypassed the little mountain ranges or whatever, and then I came right into Preston. So yeah, so that was it with that, man. So that was it with that, and it was pretty cool.
I thought that I was gonna spend like $855 worth of gas because that's what it looked like it was gonna be. I only spent like about four or something, so I was like, cool. So it paid like 2 grand. It paid like 2 grand. It paid almost 2,100 because it was like $94, $2,094, and so with fuel, I deducted that fuel and the rest of it. I need that, so that was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so bad at all. I didn't waste gas like I thought I was gonna do. I actually did pretty good on gas. So now I know pulling 40,000 pounds. But if I had been going up some hills, some big hills, then man, I would have been done on the few. I would have used an 855 plus more, but it did me pretty good. I did right. It came out good. So look at this. Let's look at this real quick. Let's look at this real quick. You got my cousin. He over there. L2. He over there. He rolling. He rolling. He making that big money over there. I need to get where he at. But I think I'm gonna stick closer to the home now, yeah. Uh, um, I'm gonna stick closer to the home because it's getting ready to be what you call. So I'm staying close to the house now. Getting ready to be winter time. Because one thing you don't want to do is be up here during winter time on 80 or 70 going west. You don't want to be up here because they shut down the highway. People get stuck, and then you don't want to be up in these mountains. It get ridiculous. So I'm gonna stick closer to the home because the season changing, and I'm gonna be Midwest, or I might just stay down south, try to stay in Texas. I might try to stay in Texas and not even go out of Texas. But you can stay in Texas and make good money, but right now, they want to send me to Texas right now, and what's crazy about it is they want to send me to Texas. They begging me to go to Texas. We'll pay you 2,500 to go down to Texas. Yeah, right. Y'all know what time it is. You got a hurricane down there. When that hurricane hit, it's flooded down there, and they got all freight that need to be taken down there. Maybe I should go down there because I probably do need to help out because that's probably what's going on. They sending people down there to help out because of the flood that took place. That's probably what's going on. So I don't know. I'll probably go down to Texas. That's probably what I would do. They got some freight going down there. I probably would go because they do need the freight down there. They need a lot of emergency supplies, and so I might do that. I might do that. But anyways, let's go to something real quick. We got Israel Doctrine in the building. I don't know what he's talking about. Israel Doctrine looked up a Greek word. Israel Doctrine looked up a Greek word. You can't relate that word Keanos with you just can't do that, Israel Doctrine. Like you can't say that it's renewed, but the contents of it is not the same. That just doesn't make any sense, bro. Like you can't. This is like somebody bringing me a contract and say, come in, and they say renew your contract, but when you look at the contents of it, it ain't the same. Something different. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, it doesn't make any sense. You can't say it's a renewed contract because the contents should remain the same, but the contents are not the same. There's some different things, and even you even stated the sacrifices is gone, the judgments is gone. Seeing that the priesthood has changed, there's a necessity to change the law. So not only that is circumcision. You know what I'm saying? But you seen Acts 15, they talk about circumcision according to Moses, and they was told that they didn't have to be circumcised. So you lose every time at that. Is circumcised, let him not be circumcised. He that is called not being circumcised, let him not become circumcised. I don't know what this brother talking about, man. This brother tripping, man. These brothers be saying they Israel and don't even be no Israel, and don't even be knowing Israel's doctrine. Israel doctrine, crazy, man. He done lost his mind, man. Anyways, let me get to this real quick because it's not really about that. It's about this. I will let you come in here, Bo, but I'm finna end this. I'm finna do this one little thing real quick, and then we gonna get on up out of here because I'm finna see what I'm finna do. Cause I really want to make my way to this truck stop, and so I can be at the truck stop and be a little bit more comfortable and hit this shower. Let me see something. Let's look at this real quick. All right, let's look at this real quick. All right, so let's look at Matthew 13 and 17. It says, "For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside, right? So it says the enemy coming, right? They hear the word, right? And understandeth it not, right? They don't understand it, right? It says, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. So you can go and tell somebody the word, they may not understand it. They ain't right. The enemy come quickly. He take that word, right? Lest they think on that and say, you know what? Even though I don't understand this, you know, it might, you know, you might catch it later on. No, he coming to take that immediately, right? So watch what it says. The wicked would come and catch it away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and anointing with joy receiveth it. He heard, he received it, right? It says, yea, hath he not root in himself, but endure for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended, right? So this is the type of person where he heard the word, right? He received it with gladness. He heard, he received it, right? But remember, you gotta look at where it's being sold at. It's on stony. It's in a stony place, right? So it's in a almost like a calloused heart. The first one was stony. This one is by the wayside, right? In other words, by the wayside, it's not even in the area where it needs to be sown in order to properly grow. It says, yet have he not root in himself, but endured for a while. In other words, this person, he stick around for a while. That's what he does. He stick around for a minute, right? For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended. So, but when this persecution or this tribulation come, this persecution and tribulation gonna come. It's gonna come. This person get offended because he have no root, and I mean he's out of there. Since he also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word. Watch this. These are these people that heareth the word, right? They hear it. Watch what it says. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he become unfruitful. Now, Man, that's the crusher right there, y'all. That's the crusher. Now, there's certain groups out there you can look at it. There's certain groups out there, certain establishments out there. They call themselves believers. They call themselves Christians. Look at this word right here. Let's read it again. It says, he also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world. See? What do they mean when they say the care of this world? What are they talking about? Those our people, my people, right? And also those are those very people that seek to preserve themselves. How do they seek to preserve themselves? We gonna see. We gonna see what's really going on, right? Watch what it says. And the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. So we see they care for the world, and the deceitful of riches choke the world. I mean, choke the word. See, this is how the word is choked, by viewing the word, viewing the world, right? And when you look at the world, what does the world have to offer? You care for the things of the world. You care to preserve self. You care for those things, and you do it by the deceitfulness of riches. And those very things, they choke the word. They choke the word. Make the word unfruitful. There's no production. Not the word unfruitful, I'm sorry. That person becomes unfruitful. And there's no production behind what they're doing. So the care of this world, right, and the deceitfulness of the riches. Deceitfulness of riches. Now, what do I mean when I say this is the very person, right? This person can be a person that enjoys the finest things of life. This person can be a person that don't have the finest things of life, so to speak. And these are two persons that one may feel he may have a love for these things overall, for riches and different things, and the other one he may not have those things, and he may have this love for in the sense of, well, I wouldn't even say, but this care for things that go on in the world, right? And this individual might want to better the world. They might want to better the world, but well, I wouldn't say, well, even better the world, but for the most part, it always seems that this person want to better. They want to better them, better situation for us, like preservation of themselves, even if it's at cutting other people off. Some people seek for equality, which is fine. They seek for equality because you should see, there shouldn't be no difference between, cultures of people, that are say that they are in the same place, in the same body. There shouldn't be a difference there. There should be some equality within that establishment. So we there are a lot of things to care for in this world. I will agree, there is a lot of things, but you have to be balanced with that, because if you look at it, everything that the world presents to you can cause you to go another way if you allow it to. So we got to understand that there are some things in this world that we look at within this parable of the one before and this one, when it talks about stony ground, that tribulations, the cares of this world for riches, or the cares of this world in general, just where you love the world so much that you're willing to corrupt your wisdom just to appease the very world. Not realize that the world loves its own, the world don't love you. We got to be careful of that. The other aspect, you love the world to the point to where you love the things that's in the world, so you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the things that is in the world, so you can basically take on this position of either pride or you can feel a way to where you fulfilled by nice things, but that doesn't fulfill you as a person spiritually. You may have all the things naturally, but what is your what are you like spiritually? And this is the problem that we got with white supremacy. And also when we talk about the supremacy groups in the past, and when we talk about the global elite of people that seek to advance themselves, what we find out is that these people, they have all the physical things that we see, the natural things, gold and silver and nice things, and they're rich, they're wealthy people, but they're morally destroyed, they're spiritually destroyed, their wisdom is corrupt. So we don't want to cycle the process, because you can cycle that process. You can be running around here, thinking that you're actually teaching the people something, but you're teaching them naturalism and you corrupt them spiritually. So now that they're corrupted spiritually, they can't even, it's hard for them to even tangle themselves, entwine themselves back with the Father and be connected to the eternal power. So it's hard for them to do that. And they're running around here worser than before. You thought that you was doing them a favor, but you actually worsened these people. So you can't too much be so much where you're caring for the very things of the world, right? And that's even when you look at certain situations. Like I heard it was said to me yesterday that if my people, his brother said that my people, I'm a stand with my people regardless. Regardless of what. So you mean tell me that, and it didn't even get worse, because let's say, for instance, if his brother, or let's say, for instance, if his brother ran to his house and the police was after him and he molested a child, he should rightfully be dealt with. You can't be partial on that. You have to stand in spite of that being your family member. You have to say, hey bro, look, I don't know, you running over here to my house while you on the run from the police is endangering my family. So you really couldn't care about me like you say you do, because if you did, you wouldn't be running over here to me endangering my family. Who does that? Why would I run to somebody's house endangering them? I'd rather suffer the cause myself. Even if I know that I wasn't guilty of it, I'm not finna run to his house. I don't want to involve him in that at all. So we have to think like that. And so when we look at it, right, in a sense, it's like, do people ever actually think like that? And I don't think people think like that. So we have to look at the very scriptures to say, and make sure that we do that a little bit differently. I mean, that we follow what the scriptures are saying. So let's look at something real quick. So just bringing out a lot of those things right there to let people know that you got to watch the company you keep. And you watch them, they'll say little stuff. You be in these groups with them, they be saying little stuff. And you key in on it. They say key little words. Like, oh yeah, they tripping. Not serving Christ. He really not preaching the gospel at all. They on something else. They trying to do some slickery, some slick stuff. So it's always there all the time. Let's see something real quick. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so with that being said, man, that's simple, man. You check the chat room. I don't really got too much to say. brother. So, the gospel is in 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 5. Let's see what he's talking about. 1 Corinthians 15. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Talking about the death of Christ, the burial of Christ, and the resurrection of Christ. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you ain't talking about that, you definitely ain't vain. Let them alone. Yeah, you know what? That's crazy you said that, Brian, because that's definitely true. It says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, they both should fall into the ditch. Matthew 15 and 14. That's word right there, fam. You right. What's going on, A-Dog? That's word right there. Hold on for a minute. Let's see. Your FICO score has increased. My FICO score went up, y'all. What's happening? Ooh-wee. Mm-hmm. Yep. What it do? Okay, that's cool. I'll take that. My FICO score went up, y'all. Yeah, so that's it, man. I mean, it is what it is. Uh, yeah, man. I guess, man, if you came in late, you can go back and you can really listen to the rest of it. But for that, I'm sorry. I'm yawning. Get on up off of here. Later on, I'm gonna come in. I gotta address some issues concerning that class I had the other day. Which camp believes that Jesus got hung on a tree? I don't know. You tell me. I guess all of them do. Do you believe Jesus was hung on a tree? Do you believe Jesus was hung on a tree? Or do you think it's talking about a noose around his neck and he was hung on a tree like that? Or you don't deal with the New Testament, or do you deal with the New Testament? Do you believe in the Messiah was his? What did he tell you? He said that he was hung by a noose on a tree, by a rope. That's what it says. Is that what he told you? He told you yesterday. He says that which camp? Oh, do you believe that? Do you believe he was hung up there by a rope? Do you believe that he was hung by a rope on a tree? Hey, dog. Okay, yeah. Yeah, don't believe that, man. When you study historically, man, you look at one of the ways, especially read Josephus' writing. He talks about crucifixion. Um, when you look at one of the ways the Romans, you know, one of the ways that they put people to death, it was by way of crucifixion. So, yeah, definitely. Yep. Word of God, you got it. You told them check them hands. So, yeah, a lot of them try to use. They try to say Michael Edwards tried to do some stuff like that. You some people tell you stuff like that. Uh, you always gonna see most likely African Americans to do that. They do that. You know, I had to say this a lot of times. When people don't when they've gone through, our ancestors, we went through a lot of slavery, so a lot of us we deal with PTSS, and that's what happens, man. And so most people be like, well, what's wrong with black people? Why do they do the things they do? Well, for years and years of slavery and things like that going on, people being raped and murdered, and they family been taken away from them. This causes a psychological problem and generational racial curses. So we got to understand it. So when people be looking at me like, what's wrong with them guys? Well, if you go talk to a doctor or psychologist, they'll tell you what's wrong with black people of America. You know, and that's the thing that people have to look at it and say, well, why do they do the things they do? Because you got Africans that come over from Africa, they don't do those things. Why do black people do the things they do? Is because our ancestors, they experienced something that was so tragic. And it's not just them, it's other people too. When people have experienced something that's tragic, they can carry that in their life, but they have the ability to change that and break that curse. So once you do have the ability to change that or break that curse, then you can come up out of that. You have to make a decision to break that, because see, there's things that each individual face in this earth. Whether you rich, you poor, you everybody is going to face some type of trial, some type of test. And what you decide to do within that trial or that test determines who you are. Will you make it through the other side, or will you die in that? Or will you continue to have to take that thing over and over and over again until you finally just perish without coming through it? Or you might take it over and over again until you finally come through it by the grace of God. So a lot of people, black Americans, and I always say black Americans are experiencing that. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I see it firsthand. I don't too much know anything about other people too much around the world, but I do know about slavery, and I do know that it does affect a lot of people, the majority of people. And so when you see people just doing certain things within these neighborhoods, on a lower scale that we see, then what I mean by lower scale is what I mean by these are things that we see, the murders and stuff like that in the neighborhoods and stuff like that, that this like on the international scale, where you see that nations are warring against each other and can actually cause mass destruction. So when you see it on a lower scale, you have to look at it and you have to say, why do they do these things? And then when you look at it, it's the result of sin. It's the result of a fallen nature, and this being passed on, this contagious. Because what happens is that when they're put in a position, you have to make a decision whether you want to respond in a way to where it's unto death, or respond in a way where it's unto life. Now, what I mean by death is spiritually killing yourself. To where you can die in the flesh but still be spiritual quickened. But you can be dead in the spirit and also alive in the body, or you can be dead in the body and dead spiritually. What I mean by dead spiritually separated from God, just like spiritually discerned. So that those things can happen. So we got to make sure that we understand that position. And sometimes we sympathize with it, you know, but at the same time, don't stay there. You got to come up out of that. You got to come up out of the curse. And what people would do is they would try to make you remember those things when the Bible clearly states that you're supposed to forget those things in the past, in a sense to where if it's crippling you, you need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of it. Whatever is causing you to be crippled, get rid of it. And take and really move forward. Move forward. You can look at it and say, you know what, I remember this person did this and that, and they might try to do it again. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that and say, this time I know how to respond, because I responded this way the last time, but this time I'm going to get the victory. But whatever's causing you to be staggering, and causing you to be crippled, causing you to be in the flesh, you need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of it. Cut it. Cut your eye off, your foot off, and that's being figurative. That's how bad you need to get rid of that. So there, you know, so when you start dealing with post-traumatic slave syndrome, you start understanding that this is the reason why. Is because these people they've been traumatized mentally and also physically. And so the very means that they're seeking to empower themselves is not going to help them. You need to be spiritually alive, quickened. You need to be spiritually quickened. And the only way that can happen and change your mentality is by Christ. This is like when you talk about those that are in the position that's causing the state and the condition of people around the world. They have to have another mindset, because they doing a lot of wickedness, a lot of immoral things. So those people have to have a mindset that has to be changed, because they shouldn't be doing the stuff that they're doing, because that causes an effect. It causes an effect. It's causing everybody to, because if the head is sick, then the body is sick. In other words, if you say that you the government or you the head, and you this political person, then you need to make sure your body is right. And it seems to me that you're not making sure that you just all about the head and saying forget the body. We're gonna use the body to keep the head well. Nah, everything Christ, the body got to be functioning together as well as the head. Every part of the body got to function as well as the head got to be functioning. And so this is why when we look at the scriptures, Christ says, well, after Christ has put all things upon his feet, he becomes subject unto him who gave him the right to put all things upon his foot. And then it says his last enemy is death, and then it says that God will be all in all. So the Father understands that the head has to definitely be on point, right? But overall, we definitely need to make sure, and he makes sure that the body lines up so that he may be all in all. So I mean, that's clear. But a lot of things going on out there. Yep. The gospel is the everlasting gospel, Israel doctrine. About it is, if you talk about the everlasting gospel, then you couldn't possibly be talking about the law of Moses, because clearly says that, and see what he think the gospel. Do you even know what the gospel means? The gospel is good tidings, good news. I'm saying, like Christ being, so you got to understand it. So and what is that good news? Those are the things that you got to definitely understand. And I think we explained that, when we talked to you about that. But so when what you're trying to do is you're trying to act like the covenant was something the covenant of Moses was something that was everlasting. Well, if it was everlasting, then you got to give account for the sacrifice, because it says that in Leviticus 16 that the Day of Atonement sacrifice, Yom Kippur, should be for an everlasting sacrifice. And so you got to understand what the everlasting statements is there. You know, if you ain't keeping the covenant and you broke the covenant, how can something be everlasting? You broke it. It's a covenant. It's a condition. It's an agreement to that. So why would you sit up there and be saying, he says, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel. Notice he said the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue of people. Notice it says he has the everlasting gospel. You can't say that is the law, because the law was not given to everybody. The law actually made a separation between the Jew and the Gentile, clearly. The gospel is what brought the Jew and the Gentile together, because it says it in Galatians 3 when it says that, you know, it says he preached the gospel unto Abraham, that the heathens should be justified by faith and not by the works of the law. Dude, what is you talking about? You all out of pocket, dude. And that's right, Mariah G. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. I mean, that's it right there, man. Like, we got to do that. What did you have? I mean, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all this, and so y'all can understand this, because my wife used to do this, and it used to make me so mad. My wife used to come to me, right, because there was times where I didn't know how we was going to get something paid. I didn't even tell her that I don't know how we're going to get it paid, because I ain't got it, right? But what she experienced as a woman, I truly love her, because what she experienced as a woman is growing up is not really, you know, sometimes, you know, being unfortunate to where they had lights and stuff cut off and stuff like that. So she made a decision to where she said, I never want my kids or my family to experience that. And I had to tell my wife, I said, I'm going to tell you something. Since I first got my place when I was young, I said, I've never had a light, gas, or any of that cut off. I said, never. I said, and one of the reasons why is because I've always trusted in God. I always. And I always asked him to give me the strength to get up and get wealth, to get up and so I could provide, you know what I'm saying? And I was single at that time. And so when I met her, you know, it seems to me that was a concern to when we got married or whatever, because we went through some times it was harsh, you know, but we made it through those times. And so I told her, I said, listen, I'm not going to let you keep calling me and saying, babe, this, you know, this got to be paid, and what we going to do this and that, and put fear in me as the man of the household and being the head of the household. That's contagious. You'll call me to be in fear to where I'll be operating in fear and be wearing and you know, this and that. And you know, I know one thing, I'm working and right now I'm working, and it you know, it wasn't making things meet at that time, but I am working. I'm working. And so we got stuff we need to be paid, and we're going to take care of one at a time, and we're not going to worry about it all at once, because that's what I've been taught. I can't change nothing about it anyways. You know, if they come and do this and that and take this and do that, hey, look, hey, right now, I ain't got the power to even fix it right now, so I'm not even finna worry about it. I know one thing, I'm going to keep on working, though. So I'm working right now. And so that's why you should tell her I'm working. I said, so well, the best thing you can do is get on that phone. We both working. You working, I'm working. And at one part of the time I wasn't working, I was getting unemployment, but money was still coming in, and it wasn't enough. But hey, look, you got money coming in, I got money coming in. And so look, the best thing you can do is get on that phone and talk to them and see, can we pay them during this time? And then if they, whatever they say, we'll pay them during that time, and then we'll worry about the next one. And sometimes all things is due at the same time. The first thing when that happened, I said, God, I need your grace and I need some type of favor. Because it ain't like I ain't out here working. I'm doing what I need to be doing. My money, the money just not coming in like it should. It ain't coming in fast enough. I am working though. Because I don't want to, because you got some church people, they be acting like they don't know what's going on. No, you know what's going on. You ain't had a job in how many years? And you ain't working. That's what's going on. But when you know you're doing everything that you can do, and you know you didn't fail behind, you know, on certain things, and you trying to take care of things over here, take care of things over there, and everything do almost at the same time, and you know that you is working and trying to make things meet. But to be honest, the way this world is set up, you know, sometimes, I mean, but sometimes the majority of times there's gonna be a struggle. There's gonna be a struggle, and sometimes but we can get the victory, and so we stay getting the victory. How do we stay getting it? Sometimes we feel defeated, but we stay getting it. Getting the victory is to just keep believing on God. And that's what I told her. I said, listen. Sometimes she'd be like, "Babe, we ain't got it to give over here. Hey, look, I know we ain't got it to give, but look, somebody didn't have it to give, and they gave it to us. So we gotta have it to give. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we're gonna have to find some type of way to make something means because look, we got something to eat over here. They ain't got nothing to eat over there. So we're gonna have to have something to give. So when you have that type of mentality, that's when you can push forward. I've been in all types of situations, didn't even know how it was gonna happen. But you know what? I kept on working. I didn't sit back, and I kept on saying. I talked to the people. She talked to them. I mean, one time she had was going to go pay on the rent. This was like around like 5-6 years ago. She gonna go pay on the rent, and she lost the money. She lost, I think it was $400. She gonna go get a money order. She lost the money order and dropped it on the ground. Right? She comes home. I'm upset about it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, whatever. It is what it is. You know, we got, so we talked about it. I was upset about it. I wasn't talking to her. So she said, this is what she told me. She said, you need to have faith. You say you're a man of God, don't you? It's like, maybe somebody turned it in. She said, I'm going back up to the store. And I was like, don't even waste the gas. Ain't nobody turned that in. I'm saying, don't even waste your time. I was like, people, we got too many people that be doing wicked things out here and trying to, this and that. She went up there to the store, and when she went to the store, guess what happened? Somebody did turn it in. They turned it in. And I was like, man, she came back, and all she did was, hey, you on the couch tonight, ain't no dinner being cooked tonight. She was like, you doubting God and this and that. And I was like, you know what? I apologize. You're definitely right. Because some people, there is some good people out there, and they will turn it in. Overall, there's some bad people, but so some things, you need to give it to God, give it to Him. You can't do nothing about it anyways. You can't change it. You can't change it with your own strength. You ain't got the money. You got this paycheck and you got these bills, and they saying two different numbers on it. What you gonna do? You gonna worry about it? You gonna say, hey, look, hey, this what I got. I can make meet this, and just so happen to this. Here's another thing. Here's another scenario. For those that have experience, just so happen you get your lights cut off, or it ain't that's not the end. That's not the end. Just so happen your gas get cut off or whatever. That's not the end. At all. Because sometimes it might happen, but that's just, don't give up then, because that's still not the end. And to be honest, it shouldn't even be to where you can't come together. You say your lights are this and that off, and people know that you're working and you're doing what you got to do. I ain't talking about if you're not working. Sometimes you just don't got it. Like me, like sometimes, somebody may come and they say, hey, look, this and that. I'm like, oh man, I'm busted. Like, I don't even got it. Like, I just gave this last helping somebody to get their stuff together. And I certainly don't got it now. And sometimes that happens. Because it happens to me before, to where somebody came and asked me, and I was like, man, I just gave this person some money to get their stuff on, and I don't even got it. And that was my last I gave. Well, it wasn't my last, but it was still something I gave that I really needed, but I, put something to the side. That on my birthday. Sometimes people give me gifts on my birthday. They may give me money. They give me money. You know what I do? I take it and I use it for something else. That's why my wife, that's why she be like, bro, you don't never do nothing for yourself. I was like, man, I ain't got time. Like, you may see me get like I like cars and stuff like that. I might get like a nice little whip. Like now, my lady, she got her car, she got her something that's nice, she wanted the RT Charger, I got it for her. I got little toys too. I end up having to get rid of a couple of toys, but it's one toy that I want, you know what I'm saying? And I got my eye on it, and that's that see, I'm shooting for that Hellcat, that 2015, because I think they on sale now. Or either I'm either shooting for that the Scat Pack, one of the two. But hey, look, man, I like nice things. I got, I get stuff, get this nice. I try to get the nice things, and and mainly when I try to get it, I try to make sure I can get it to where it can be a use for my family, because I like a lot of stuff. Like I got, little stuff I got to where, but I got my personal stuff too at the same time. Like, hey, look, this is my stuff, and I done bought y'all own over here. You got your own over here. At one point, everybody in the house, they wanted the tablet. Everybody had it. They done told the tablets up, hey, don't come touching mine. I bought you your own stuff. Everybody got their own phone. Little Ron Levi's, it might not be on, but they got their own tablet or whatever. So don't call. Don't try to be messing with other people's stuff. So that's just the way it is. So we have those times, y'all. It's gonna be those times, but definitely, put them carrots on him. You can't do nothing with it. You put it on him. Sister Raquel, what's going on? Peace, sister. Oh, let's see. Exactly. How will we ever learn to trust in him if we're never put in that position? Definitely. We definitely got to make sure. Sometimes we put ourselves in a situation, though, and we want God to bring us up out of it fast. We want him to come. We want him to bring us up out of it real fast. We know we didn't got ourselves in a situation, and we begging him to bring us up out of it. And sometimes we got to stew in it. Sometimes we stew in those situations, and he'll bring you up out of it. But sometimes we got to stew in it because we put ourselves in that position. But we don't be feeling good at all. Be like, man, God, I got myself in this situation. What's going on, the hack? But right, long suffering. So, like, God, look, I'm in this situation, and I know that I put myself in this situation, but I need you to help me. And we get impatient. We get mad at God. When you get mad at God, that's called spiritual immaturity. If you still get mad at God, you spiritual immature. But that's all right, though, because you can grow from that. You can come up out of that. You can come up out of spiritual immaturity. Get mad at God no more. I used to get mad at God all the time. I don't even do it no more because I got past that stage early on. When I got saved when I was in 2001, during that time. I used to get mad at God. Oh, God, you let them do me like this. You let them do this and that. I don't even do that no more because I know, God is faithful. I'm 35 years old and I can say God is faithful. I've been in situations to where I know that this person next to me wanted to kill me. I knew it. You know what I'm saying? I knew it. And somehow, some way, that person didn't do it. But I knew that they wanted to kill me. I've been in situations where I knew that this person was killing people. And I just so happened to come in contact with that person and be right in the car with that person. And it was told to me, why is this thing steady going off like this? All right, y'all. Oh, you know what? I know what that is. That's this computer.
And I knew that that person wanted confrontation. And basically,
I, the person who warned me, because I went in the store, I was riding with the person, and I went into the store, and the person was like, who you got in the car with you? And I told the person who I had in the car with me, they was like, oh man, you riding with him? It's like, you ain't heard? I'm like, what? Person be doing such and such and do it, and did this, such and such, this and that. And I'm like, are you serious? And so they was like, man, you need to get that person out your car as soon as possible. And so when I thought about it, I kept thinking, like, because this person kept asking me to hold my gun. Like, man, you shouldn't be driving with the gun, man. Let me hold the gun. And so, it was just weird. And so I've been in that situation to where I'm like, this person sought to do me harm. And I knew it. And so I should have known something was wrong to where when the person put a cigarette out on my door, like you smoking a cigarette, then you took it and you put it out, right? You took it and you put it out and burned a hole right in my door. And so I should have known something wasn't right with this person when they did that. And so when the dude told me he got the, I'm like, man, by the grace of God, I just been warned about this dude. You know what I'm saying? Warned about this dude. So eventually I was able to get about that situation. And it's been other situations I was able to get up out of being foolish, the strip club and, going home with a young lady that supposedly, she's supposed to be, legit or whatever the case may be. And this young lady, say, well, I got some friends, because it was me and my partner. And my partner, he's not living right now. He died about 4 years ago. But we leave the strip club. We go with this young lady. She say, I got some more friends coming over. We're gonna have a little get together or whatever. So we down there, right? And so, I'm a real quiet person. So I usually be quiet or whatever, when it comes to, when I go somewhere or whatever. So anyways, they all talking this and that. And so she said, I'm waiting on my friends to come. They finna come down from upstairs. And so the whole time I'm just quiet, and I got on a little hoodie or whatever. So it's good. Sometimes you got a hoodie or whatever. They might think you got something on you. So anyways, the whole time, like, I'm just looking around, and I'm just looking, I'm talking, but at the same time I'm looking. And so I see they got all of these like little gadgets and stuff like that. They got iPhones and what is it? Not iPhones, iPods. That's what it was, iPods, because them came out a little minute ago. I don't think people even got even iPods. I ain't sure though. But they got iPods and all types of stuff, right? And so they got all of these things, right? And I'm just like, man, all these little devices they got, I think that was back then. I'm not sure if it was, people were still using flip phone phones, I believe. I think, yeah, they were still using flip phones, I believe. And so, they had all of these little things and little stuff, little gadgets or whatever like that. The things, when we start getting up to little USBs, and they had all these little computer components. I kept wondering, how did they got all these little gadgets? It's like these are little gadgets where people was walking around, where you're not walking around with tape decks with headsets no more, or CD players. You walking around with these iPods or whatever they call these little gadgets where they store your stuff on. They got all of these, a lot of them, headphones and stuff. So I'm just looking like, why do they got all this stuff? I'm not realizing that these very people are actually robbing people. And so I whispered to my friend, because the girl had asked him, did he want to take a shower with her? And I was like, huh?
And what was crazy about it is because the girl was actually they had a friend. She was a dyke. She was a stud, so to speak. She she basically I said that's kind of funny. Why would she ask that? You know, it was kind of weird that she would even ask that. Oh man. So it was kind of weird that they would even ask that. And so I told him, I was like, dude, that's kind of weird, man. That sound kind of funny. And I was like, I've been looking around. They kept telling me, they kept saying, why are you so quiet? It was like he real quiet. You can tell when you got quiet ones like that, they always be the ones who get busy. That's what they were saying without. So I'm just peeping the whole scene. So then I tell him, I say, hey man, we need to leave here. He was like, why you say that? I said, I think they're trying to rob us. He was like, you for real? I was like, yeah, bro. I've been looking around. So that's why they keep trying to look at me because they think I got something. That's why I was had my hand in my pocket the whole time in my hoodie. I used to have the little hoodies with the little pockets on the front. You just put both hands right in. I had one of them. You know, and back then, that was back then when people was wearing the baggy clothes back then. So yeah, you can tuck a man 2 AR-15s in your back and then be strapped with the clothes that we was wearing. So anyways, anyways, I told them this. Is how I played it off. I said, "Tell them we finna go to White Castles." That's what I said. And so we asked them, "Do they want something?" And so that's what he did. And so when they did that, we never came back. But for some dudes to come from upstairs. But the dude they wanted to see, the dudes wasn't gonna come if we had something. So they wasn't gonna come in there. So they wasn't sure. They didn't want to be a shootout up in there. But it's been all types of situations that I was in that, you know, just looking at it, have a sharp discernment and just looking and saying, you know what, man, this situation is ridiculous. It was just by God's grace for reals why we even made it about that situation. Unfortunately, my friend, he didn't make it out of his situation 4 years ago, and he used to be he was a Black Hebrew Israelite. He actually introduced me to it, and he came up out of that movement and became a realist, because that's what happened. Once they come up out of that movement, they become realists, what you call a realist, where they stop dealing with the Bible overall and just, you know, they don't believe in it anymore, and they start dealing with Black nationalism or stuff like that, pro-Black movement and stuff like that. And so that's what he did. And and then his sister, she started dealing with so much of African spirituality and all that type of stuff. But he did that, and so like he started hanging out with his friends, and you know, they set him up. You know what I'm saying? And so 4 years ago, he didn't. You know, he was gone. He left. He was a manager at FedEx. He had 5 kids, 5 beautiful kids, and he didn't make it, you know. So he went back and started hanging out with the older guys, you know. And he went to, it was his birthday. He got killed on his birthday. He went out on his birthday. He was supposed to be to work that night. He ended up calling in. He was gonna go to work, and they talked him to calling in, and he went out there and started hanging with them. He even bought pizza and everything, sitting down, buying everybody pizza, buying them drinks and stuff like that. And as soon as he walked about the club, they was all walking at the same time. One of the dudes turned around and shot him in the chest twice, and then shot him in the head the rest of the time. So it was pretty crazy. And then left him out there and for dead. And everybody else claimed to be his friend or whatever. You know, they didn't even tell his grandma, and he was out there on the curb dead. So that really hurt. That really hurt me right there, because at that moment, I ain't even gonna lie. You know, I was a believer and all. At that moment, I lost it. You know what I'm saying? I got to the point to where, hey, I got my gun. You know, a couple of me and my family members, because he was like family, and that shook me, and that did something to me right there. And we was on the hunt. I even went to the very bar that he was at, because it was a bar grill. I sat up in there, and the whole time we was just on a mission, just like whoever say something funny is gonna get shot and killed. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie, that was the mentality, because it hurted so bad, because I'm just like, man, you know, I grew up with this dude, you know what I'm saying? And I knew that he made a decision to go back and start hanging with those guys. But he still, when I say hang with these guys, because he didn't smoke weed, you know, he may have a drink from time to time when he get off work, a beer or something like that. But he stayed working, take care of his family. But just to be sitting around with has been doing the same thing that you used to do since you left from doing what you were doing is kind of ridiculous. You can't go back to the block and these people been doing the same thing since you left there, unless you're going back to try to enlighten or feed those people, or, you know, to your neighborhood. But you can't go back hanging around, sitting around with them. And these people are still doing the same thing, and you're a believer. You know, you can't go back to your old playground with that, because somebody might come through at that very time and start shooting and killing. But it just so happened to where, you know, he went back in that situation, and they was already jealous because he moved past and got his life together. So where it is, you know, he had just got his income tax, so he had a pretty nice, good, large amount, and at that time he happened to have they knew he had some money on it. He didn't have all his money on, but he did have enough money to where they wanted to rob and kill over it. So you don't know what people be on. So that's, you know, we have to be careful of that. You know, one of the things you do when you first become a believer, you change your playmates, you change your surroundings. You know, and you don't go back to those very places unless you going back and you know, under the influence of the Spirit, and you're going back to go, you know, under divine revelation. And so that's what happened with that situation. So, you know, it's still nice to where I still feel you know, bad about that, you know, and deal with that, because we always talked about, oh man, we can imagine each other when, you know, when we get old and we get bald and stuff like that. And so that really shook, that hurt it, you know, real bad. And so, and I'm gonna be honest, the majority of my friends is either locked up or they gone. The majority of my friends, you know, and it's sad to say, you know, and to be honest, for a while I stopped even hanging with people my age. I started hanging with people that was just older. Like a lot of my friends are older now, you know, probably like 40 to all the way to their 60s or 70s, because, you know, the worst thing that happens is when somebody call you in the middle of the night, or call you, you know, and you get that call and this person gone. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst thing that can happen to you. The worst things, you know, it you know, it has an effect on you. Plus, at that time, you know that you was trying to talk this person back into coming to back to the biblical text and believing on Christ. But it just didn't work that way. So I did what I can do, but it didn't work that way. So, you know, and that's that right there. So yeah, we definitely got to make sure we don't step on the devil's playground. Yep, going back to his old hood. He had 4 kids and a wife. Yep, can't do it. I don't know why Israel Doctrine is still talking about this. He think that the everlasting gospel was Moses. That boy Israel Doctrine is something else, man. Israel Doctrine. Y'all see how Israel Doctrine be contradicting himself a lot. If y'all go back and listen to his statements and go, you can catch him up real quick, because that brother, he be contradicting himself. Go back and just listen to what he be saying. But Israel Doctrine, he does it a lot. Like, he fluent with it. And then you'll be talking and he'll say something. Like, he'll say damned. And then I forgot that conversation we had. We were talking about damned or something else. And this brother straight tried to argue with this brother like it was different or something, and it was the same thing. It was just real funny, man. The Israel Doctrine, he's stuck in a hard place. But yeah, it was funny, man, because if you go back and you listen to him, he be talking, and it be like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you just said this, and then you said that. That's why now he's starting to try not to do a lot of answering questions, because once he answers them questions, he be looking real silly. And so he was like, you just trying to trap me. Yeah, because you talking real silly, man. So yeah, of course, I'm going to try to tie you up in your words and put you up in a bundle knot because you just talking silly. And then when he said you just trying to trap me and he don't answer the question, you just trapped yourself up there because you just realize that, you know, if you answer that question, but you got to answer it because sometimes you can put people in a choice. You can put people in a spot to where they ain't got no choice but to answer that question. Answer it, then it make them just look real silly. Because now we see it's some agenda that you got because you can't even answer the base of questions. This brother Israel Doctor need to stop, man. He's still arguing that point. That's why Brother Jay gonna smash him in that debate. Yeah, he be cutting people off. You can't even have a fruitful dialogue with the brother because he cuts people off, and then he overtalks you, and then he wonder why he be saying people be running from his debates. No, nobody ain't running. You just don't know how to. You run everybody off because it's how you do things. You could do things a little bit better than what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You running people off doing that. That's what's happening. You running everybody off. This brother don't even know what circumcision mean, and he want people to get circumcised. Oh man. So yeah, people. Let's see if this brother says something down here. I'm almost tempted to let this brother in here. Yeah. Sister Raquel on it, man. That's funny, man. Look, let's quote it again, man. This is super funny. Sister Raquel on it, man. Look what she says. She says, and I quote, she says, you'll be damned if you're not circumcised, but I'm not saying you'll go to hell. That was retarded when he said that, man. And see, what's crazy about it is what Israel doctrine don't understand is you got people like Sister Raquel, you got people like let me see, Brian Garcia leading them, and Isha, you got Isha, you got people like that they writing this stuff down. You know, they jotting it down. So when you saying this stuff, they know by the very quote that you're saying, because that's just what he said. You'll be damned if you're not circumcised, but I'm not saying you'll go to hell. Oh, that's just like you saying, is you done or is you finished? Is you done? Israel doctor did lost his mind, man. I promise, yo. Hey, when he said that was hilarious. Like, that was funny right there. Like, if we go back, like, you know what? Do we still got that? What was that on? I want to play that, man. Hey, look, we should go back and play that. I want to play that. I need a timestamp for that. We should go back. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna check that out today. I'm gonna get the time stamp for that actual what's called. So every time somebody do something, I'm gonna play that very clip right there. Oh man, that brother Israel Doctrine then lost his mind. Right. He says, look, he says, this is what he says. You be damned if you're not circumcised, but I'm not saying you'll go to hell. Y'all gotta love that brother, though. I ain't gonna even lie, man. Y'all gotta love him, man. Cause you'll sit there and you just watch him. Real doctrine, man. You crazy as I don't know it, bruh. Gotta love him, man. Cause you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. He tripping when it comes to what's called the scriptures. But I can't say the with him saying that the northern tribe, man, but when it comes to him situation, the beef situation, and the conscious community and stuff like that, man, I ain't gonna even lie, man. Like you sit up there and watch it, he be breaking that stuff down. But I will say, man, gifts is without repentance, man. So you can have some gifts and ain't repenting and still be having them gifts. Break that stuff. It's like he got foreknowledge of it. But when it comes to these scriptures, this brother, he got to stick to that. It's, and I'm telling you, it's that Israelite ideology. It's really some one West in it, but he tried to play it off, and it blinds him, man. It's like he blinded by it. And but otherwise than that, if you take that veil up off his face, man, then he can see the glory of the Lord and look in that mirror and become the very image. You know what I'm saying? What he looking at. But man, you know, these brothers just don't understand, man. But yeah, that Israel doctrine funny, man. That brother entertaining, man. I'm done, but I'm not saying I'm finished. Oh man, that's crazy, man. I'm chopping up, y'all. My sound ain't good. Can y'all hear me? My mic clear? Hey, hold on, y'all. This is my dispatcher. Hold on, you guys. Yeah, I don't know. He probably gonna call back again. His phone ain't up hanging up, but yeah. So yeah, man, is you done? Is you finished? Hold on, not that yeah. Is you done or is you finished? Let's see. Hold on, sister Raquel got the whole stamp. Matter of fact, hold on a minute, yeah. Oh man, oh Lord, man. Let me go on and go to this right quick. Man. Yeah, I had put y'all on hold. He says the first of the next month debate talk for you, me and Brother Jay, dealing with the topic of circumcision. Oh man, it's real doctrine. It's real doctrine. Yeah, he's a doctrine that lost his mind, man. Let me put this on her real quick. This funny right here. It's super funny. Number 6. This thing be running super slow. Man, look at this. Matter of fact, I rather play it on my phone because this thing right here. I wonder if I'm chopping up the way this thing runs slow. Can y'all hear me? It's real doctrine. I'm gonna go here and play this. I'm gonna play it on my phone because this thing ain't right. Hold on, yeah. That boy Israel doctrine be tripping. Of his boot. Down your face. You bow down your face to the earth. Hey, let the brother finish, man. He just lying on me. He just said, let me do this. I'm not lying on you at all. Listen. I just said you're purposely trying to do. I never said that. Yeah, you just accused me. Yeah. Okay, well listen, call. If he did that, can you please wait till he get done because it's 31 people watching and some people want to get edified, bro. So please stop doing that. Okay, listen. Hey, so real. That's a bad habit. Hold on. Okay, cool. So real. Please, if you misrepresent him, make sure whatever he's saying, you get it correct, man. Because this brother, man, he gonna keep on arguing this minute point, and I want people to get edified about this debate that's gonna happen, man. Let me get the date, man. Let me get the timestamp again. Hold on. The timestamp. Brother, man, he gonna keep on arguing this minute point. Okay, let's see what the timestamp is. 1:30. Okay, it's at 1:30. Okay, so let's get over to 1:30. Can y'all hear it? Yeah, you can hear it. Matter of fact, because I heard it back over to 1:30. It's gonna be funny. The date of that debate, first, is physical circumcision needed for salvation? That's the question that we look at answer in the economy that's been late. So now Genesis 17.
Jesus' seed that he promised, the covenant ain't no more. It don't need to be. It was the first full covenant. That was not that covenant. It's been right. Skip now. This is which I should keep between me and you. Everybody circumcised. That's the everlasting covenant. And just your foreskin. And it should be a token of me and you. Right? But it's also your skin. It's called a token. It's called seal of 12. And he that is circumcised amongst you. Every generation, he that is born or bought with money, which is not of our seed. That's how the stranger made it in anyway. Because he made it into the literal house of Abraham, father of the faithful. That's how he blessed in Abraham. He was blessed in Abraham. Then the servants of Isaac was blessed. The servants of Jacob and the servants of Israel.
Oh yeah. Like,
even Jesus, whom service we all supposed to be. So let's read on. We got two more. He that is born, 13. He that is born in the house and he that is bought with money must need be circumcised. Be in your flesh, blessed in your foreskin, for an everlasting covenant. If you ain't got it in your flesh, you ain't in the covenant. And the covenant is everlasting. It ain't old and waxing away, because it ain't the covenant that he's talking about in Jeremiah 31. See, Israel have covenants with an S, more than one. You can't get them mixed up. Look, right? 14 is the key. It said, in the uncircumcised child, whose flesh or of his foreskin is not circumcised, right? That soul should be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant if he ain't got that token or that covenant in his foreskin. And you can't eat of Jesus Christ, and you have no place in him. And he purchased you, as I say in Acts 20 and 28, with his blood, bringing you into the household of Abraham, his father, be his servant. And any servant or homeborn must be circumcised in the flesh. All that other stuff and all the figurative language and all of that is irrelevant. You can't break that covenant. That's an everlasting covenant. And it just stated, whoever does it, and that covenant don't change. You can't add or disannul. It don't change. That's how you sanctify and set apart in Christ. That don't change. Now you can argue, you can mislead, or do whatever you want. But when the Lord see you, He gonna say, God gave you the testimony that that was not supposed to be so. Come here. You gotta pay with your blood. Yo, G-Con.
I'm still waiting for him to ask me a question, but I can still respond to everything that he said.
I ain't got no question.
Hey, let me say something, man. I'm gonna drop out, man. I'm actually tired, but it was something he said. I just had to say something. Well, actually, two things. Number one, Carl. Bro, you keep running around, man, preaching that Judaizer doctrine, man. I got two questions for you, man. The first one is, if a person has to be circumcised to be saved, if someone has to be circumcised according to the flesh, or like the scriptures say, after the manner of Moses, but that's where we read circumcision, then why did not God establish this salvation for the rest of men prior to Abraham? If that's how they must be circumcised in the flesh to be saved.
I don't know. When I see Jesus, I ask him, and to then,
Okay, so basically salvation is unfair. God gave the men prior to Abraham an easier route and gave us the harder route. So the second thing is this. You're going around preaching that, men must be circumcised according to the flesh, or like the scriptures say, after the manner of Moses to be saved. Then this is what I want you to do. I want you to read, and I'll ask you my question.
Hold up. Before you let me deal with that little statement track, because you tried to take a little shot. You know what I'm saying? It's number one, like when you open up, you don't have to be circumcised to be saved. You have to be circumcised not to be damned. See, it can be either or. And I don't say you have to be circumcised to be saved. So try to put that in there and insert it like
you just said if you're not circumcised, you're damned.
But did I say you have to be circumcised to be saved?
What's the opposite of what you
said this, or when I said another way, you can't state that I said that.
This is y'all black Hebrews like stupid. Y'all preach that Judaism doctrine, but
man, let's go.
You ain't
Listen.
got it in your flesh. No, I'm saying the fact is, number one, like when you open up, you don't have to be circumcised to be saved. You have to be circumcised not to be damned. See,
that is one ignorant dude, man. Oh my God, man. This dude ignorant, man. This dude ignorant for saying that, man. This dude then lost his mind, man. I promise, yo. I can't believe this dude just said that. Oh my God, man. Hold on for a minute. And look, when he said it, look, Brother Jay said, what? He said, what? Like, dude, what is you talking about, man? That is super foolish, man. Hold on for a minute, man. Let me do this real quick. I can't believe. I told you just go back and just listen to the dude, man. He just sound real silly. Let me see this, man. All right, let's see. That dude Israel Doxson that lost his mind, man. Israel Doxson. I done heard it all. And he does this all the time. That's why everybody be saying, man, like, this dude even do this in the House of Consciousness. He does this. Where people be like, huh? Like, what is this dude talking about? Let's go back to that and see something real quick. Israel Doctor. All right, so let's see. Let's look at this real quick. This boy that lost his mind, man. This boy that lost his mind.
It can be either or. Say you have to be circumcised to be saved, so try to put that in there and insert it. Like
right, and now how did he insert that when you just said that? This dude this dude bogus for that one, man. This dude bogus, man. And that's why, man, and they all be sounding stupid, man. That's why when you talk to them, and you talk to them right, and you say, let me ask you a couple of questions, they all sound stupid. They don't want to answer. They don't want to answer questions. They sound ignorant, man. Just sit them down Just sit them down and have a discussion with them, man. They sound ignorant and stupid, man. They be sounding silly, man. You be like, man, this dude just says the most retarded stuff ever. It never fails, man. It's what it is that the Israelite, those guys, you know, it's like when that Israelite movement, it's like they corrupted by it, and they gotta lie and say certain things, and it don't fit, and when it don't fit, it's not right, man. Like if you go back and you listen to that conversation, like let me let y'all listen to this conversation right here. Like this computer is really moving slow on this thing, so I'm just gonna stop altogether. Just stop. I don't know what's up with this computer. It's like every time I'm running Hangouts, this thing moves slow, so it doesn't run Hangouts too good. But I'm gonna altogether stop messing with this computer right here. I gotta get a whole nother computer because this ain't right. Let me show y'all something though, so y'all can see this fool. This dude is an idiot. Watch what right, he thinks the gospel is the Mosaic law. I don't know why he think that, when it just told you that the gospel was preached unto Abraham, and before the law even existed. You know what I'm saying? 430 years before the law. This dude, man, he weird. So watch this. Let me go to they deny Christ for the sake of their racial insecurity. That's basically what it is. Let's go to this brother right here though. Let's go to this one right here, because this one is really crazy. Let me pause that. That ain't gonna never play. It's still winding up with some crap. But let's go to this conversation right here, because this is really retarded. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Hold on. Look at this, y'all. My computer moving kind of slow today for some reason. I don't know. Stronger and hit harder, way harder than what. Because this was the direct quote. You said, meanwhile, let me know if y'all can hear that. Is dominant at everything. That's what you said. They would be the dominant at everything. We are the kings of the earth. 50 and 0. It says, knock the snoot out of this, that. The snot, I'm sorry, knock the snot out of his damn nose. Now, now, my statement was can y'all hear that? If I can, I'll go to what I stated. Let me know in the chat room if y'all can hear that. I said, you sound like an Afrocentric with that BS, shaking my head. All right? You know, we got off into that, and then I said, that's Afrocentric foolishness. And I said the statement that you said is pure foolishness. And one of the reasons why I want to let you know why I said that is because now there are, you know, first of all, when you said black people, you do know Hamites are black too, right?
Man, I know you're saying. What I'm saying, when I say black, so-called African American,
right? So, this happened. This is a past event. Now, as far as you saying, it's some type of perpetual. Hold on.
being sold. That's all. That's
It was an echo yesterday.
Because you mentioned the Igbos earlier, right?
Yeah, most of them.
You do know that these are Igbo tribe. This is an Igbo tribe right here, right?
Yeah, but when I say Igbo, you gotta understand that there's more than one group of sects within the Igbos. So if you're gonna go to Igbo, you know what I'm saying? You have Igbo Israelites, you have Igbo Jews, people that know that they're the Jews, and you also have before paper. It was things that was written on stone. It was Torah.
Humanity. And this is what's going on. The people are using the very book, right? The very book to conquer each other, as well as when the Mohammedans rose up until we start seeing the Ottoman Empire, and before then the Crusades and the Byzantine Empire, right? Before the Mohammedans. So what we're looking at the moving around or oppression of people, and slave trade or slavery is something that took place way before the Atlantic slave trade.
Yeah, but
way back then.
Yeah, but one thing is this, like, even though I quoted Joel earlier, and it talks about the Greeks and stuff that came against it, what nation was it that came and got our ancestors?
Right, but even when you quoted Joel,
I'm asking what how slavery was basically taught to the European nation. I'm gonna show it right here by the Arabs.
From the Greek, there were Aramaic words that have been translated from the Greek. So we know that at that time, that we see it was more advanced. And
when you look at it, we're actually in a second damn Egypt. We're actually in a second Mizraim. And what do I mean by that? Because the same exact thing that was going on in the first Egypt, many of the curses, many of the things that was happening, basically slavery, bondage, is the same thing that the second coming is coming. So our Savior's coming soon. This is a spiritual, I'm speaking from a spiritual stance or point of view. The second coming is coming, so our Savior's coming soon. So let's see. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. We start at verse 1. It says, and Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah Elohim, which have brought thee out of the house of Egypt, or Mitzrayim, out of the house of. So it's clear as day. Egypt is a house of bondage. That clearly breaks down what actually Egypt represents. It was a house of bondage.
Now listen. Now how is he going to use that to equate to, I brought you out of the land of Egypt? And he used that to say that it's talking about spiritual Egypt. The Egypt means bondage. Egypt does not mean bondage. I don't know where he got that from. It says, I brought you out of the land of Mizraim. Mizraim. The house of bondage, right? So the land of Egypt is the house of bondage. How does brother? Just in that case, every place they went, every time they went into every time they went to whatever province they went in, they might as well call that Egypt then, with that type of thinking and mentality. So they always try to say, I'm thinking on a higher or spiritual sense. Well, many people that thought on a higher, on a supposed higher or spiritual sense, and led people away in a cult that got them killed. He said mental gymnastics. Right. So, man, I don't know. These brothers, man, I don't know. So he tells me, he says that vocab is influencing me, that he got me messed up. Nah, bro, you tripping. You trying to use this Bible to promote black nationalism or black supremacy and as a mindset. See, it's always a mindset, because if you look at it, if you look at the black Hebrew Israelites do, what they do is, a lot of them, ISUPK,
they got it in their mind to where they want to be supreme, far as in condition and state. They want to take all white people, every other nation, Africans, and they want to take them into captivity. And GMS goes so far that they want to be raping people's daughters. And then ISUPK, they talking about they're gonna have people kneeling down, kissing their feet. Sakari over there got people kneeling down, kissing them police boots. All types of foolishness and silly stuff going on, man, around here. That's why the police mad. The police mad because y'all out there with their boots on. Y'all out there kicking it with them boots on. That's why they mad. You wonder why they pulling up on the corners, locking y'all up, because you got them boots on. And y'all, you know, y'all getting them, y'all ain't doing no work out there for real. Y'all ain't running after people or tracking people down. None of that. On the beat, none of that. Y'all out there just sitting out there talking about the white man and the African. And it's Sakari and them, they try to play it off. They try to get out there and just talk about white people because they know if they get out there in the black people's neighborhoods talking about Africans, they're gonna get out, they're gonna get whooped with them signs out and all. All you're gonna be seeing is some signs out there with the white Jesus out there, the cardboard ripped all up and paper everywhere and fringes scattered everywhere and boots hung up on the on the city lights and on the telephone poles and everything. Yes, that's what you're gonna have going on. They know not to go in them neighborhoods with that crap. That's why ISUPK, they don't go in them talking about the Africans, calling them. You got them brothers in ISUPK in St. Louis, they in the downtown calling African booty scratchers and nasty this and that, but I guarantee you they wouldn't do that stuff in the hood. They'd get whooped. And then half of them guys they weighing like at least 300 plus, and they can't run, so they're gonna have to take it. They're gonna have to take a whooping. And that armor they wear is only gonna help them for so long. You can so long take a beating with all that leather on. You're gonna be out there hot, leather gonna be shredded and ripped everywhere. It's gonna be crazy out there. Yeah, so it's just crazy out here, you know. He said they got that Mad Max girl. Oh man, let me get off of here, man. Let me call my family, man, my kids. Well, my son, my little one, what you call? I don't know if my wife woke because the baby be up all night. She be up all night. She wakes up, she be ready to eat. She like to get up at nighttime too. That's why when my wife was pregnant, every time it get nighttime, the baby gets just moving around, acting crazy, doing numbers. Sleep on the day. Now that she out, she get up at nighttime, she be too ready to get to eat. She ready to eat. Them brothers got on all that leather, man. That leather, man, I'm telling you. Tazariak, man, look really silly with that stuff on his head, too. This boy, he got the nerve to be tucking his boots inside of he tuck his pants inside of the boots. He got some thigh boots. He got some knee-high boots, and he got his pants tucked inside the boots. And then the boots he got look like flood boots, look like snow boots.
Zaryak silly, man.
Zaryak, he really goofy, man. He got Sakari, they over there. They got them cheap garments on. You can tell they some bums. They come straight out of GMS. They got them cheap garments on. Them garments look super cheesy. You can make them garments in 10 minutes. Just rip something up and then put it over your neck. Then they got them boy got them little franges on there. They be stealing them cap and gowns and be showing them on their stuff. That boy Deacon the car, he always looking like a bum. He always got on that one pillowcase one with the blue in it. He got the pillowcase one on. The neck thing got so stretched out on it, he just simply just tied a knot where the shoulders at. The knot on the other side where the shoulders at, just put it around his neck, looking like a hooligan out there. That boy like Mr. Potato Head with a beard. That boy can rap his behind off though, but he don't know nothing about these scriptures. Boy ain't got the spirit at all. At least Yehukanan, at least he try to at least get some type of DNA going to try to see where he coming from. He be looking real silly too though. He got that that hair on his face was like shaved armpit hairs. That boy's face was like looked like little shaded mice hairs on his face. Boy looks silly, man. Let's see. Then them brothers over there at Sakari, man, you got what's called that boy what's his name? The Gorilla Hebrew, man. That brother, man. He won't shave his beard at all. He won't line it up at all, man. They don't play about that. They don't line their beard, so they keep it man. Or that bird look like, man, raccoon. He got a raccoon skin on at the bottom on his face. That's how it looked, like a little raccoon coat on his face. Y'all know what's them hats, man, they be wearing, man, over in Russia, them big tall hats that got that fur. It look like one of them. He got one of them upside down on his chin. A gray one. Not a gray one, but whatever color that hair is on his face. He got one of them on his face. Deacon Accor. Deacon Accor, he looked like he used to steal back in the days. He probably still be stealing, taking all the tithes and the offerings they be giving, putting it, stashing pills in his beard. That boy used to stash crack in his beard back in the day when he was in the street. They pull him over. They got to check his beard. Let's check to see if there's anything in his knapsack. brothers, and then oh man, the brothers look a mess, man. All these guys some clowns, man. They some bozos, man. Teaching that wicked doctrine, walking around teaching that old wicked doctrine on these corners down in downtown. You don't never see them in the hoods. Sometimes which kind of them go to the hood, but they ain't finna talk about no Africans though. You'll never hear them that. They gonna bang on the white man hard, but they ain't finna talk about no Africans though. They keep that on the low because they know right then and there. That's when the goons gonna come up and like, what you say, dog? And run them right on the bottom there. You gonna see fringes stretched all the way down the street. Flip over them tables out there and everything. That's what I was saying about Yahuka now. He looked more West African than most West Africans. I was saying the same thing. He looks super West African, at least, you know what I'm saying? Tazariak might be able to get away with it because they super light. You know what I'm saying? And you got a Hebrew Perry. This brother look Nubian. This brother he talking about he a Hebrew Israelite. This brother looks straight like he out of Nubia. This brother ain't got a beard on his face, and you got the brother straight African, man. Straight West African. That brother look like he ain't got no East African in him. At all, man. That brother ain't got no East African in him at all. That brother just face just super butt naked. You know what I'm saying? That's why he won't show that maternal side. Even that paternal side, he ain't showing all of that. He keep talking about, nah, bro, you just got a percentage of that R1B in you. I can't wait till that other DNA test come back because I'm waiting, bro. I'm waiting just like you expected. I'm waiting. Bring that over here. We gonna get Sister Raquel to look at the information again. Because she be looking at the stuff thorough. She be thoroughly looking at it. She know the timestamps and everything. So you ain't finna play no games with Sister Raquel. You already know she finna look at that information and go to it, look and examine it. Yeah, they ain't never picking them birds out. Israel Doctor, his beard all broken off. His beard, he got them two great pieces right there, and it's thin like wind on it, like it's like a rabbit tail on his face. Hey, yeah, that's my wife, so y'all definitely know I'm finna get them up off her. Peace and blessings to y'all out there. Talk to y'all later, man.